and welcome to That's Just Prime. And today we're going to be taking a look at Generations Legends Optimus Prime with Roller. Released in April of 2013, these guys originally retailed for $10. They came in a 2-pack. These guys actually came packed in together. Now, Optimus Prime here is approximately 3 inches long and about 1.5 inches tall at the top of the wind vane here. And this guy is inspired by the, I believe he's inspired by the IDW comic book version of the Optimus Prime that was, I guess, at the time of the release of this figure. So I don't read the comics all that much, so I'm not really sure, but I know that this is inspired with the IDW version. And you know, he's kind of a G1-ish kind of looking truck. You know, he's got the flat nose cab with the red cab and the blue back of the truck there, and he's a pretty cool representation of a G1-ish or a Generations Optimus Prime. He rolls pretty well. And that's pretty much all he does. Here in truck mode, I like the way this guy looks. The only issue that I could take with this guy would be that he's got visible head syndrome. Now, you can't really tell that that's the head. It just looks like a peg hole there. But that is, in fact, the back of the head. However, they did do something cool in at least trying to get some functionality out of it. And you know that I'm not a fan of this kind of stuff. But if you are, they made the back of the head a peg hole so that you can insert his weapon there. So now Optimus Prime can have a giant gun on the top of his truck mode there. So we'll set him back just for a second and we'll look at Roller. And we got to come in close to look at him because he is tiny. So he's kind of like a mini-con. And what they've done is they've taken the idea of Roller that came with that would ride along inside the trailer of the original G1 Optimus, and they sort of upgraded him into, like, it kind of looks like a Jeep cross with some kind of a spacey lunar vehicle or something. He's got 6 wheels. These bottom wheels roll okay. They're on pins. The back wheels not so much. The back wheels are basically 2 round pegs on a rod that goes all the way through, kind of like those old little toy cars that you would get. So these back wheels don't roll so well, and then these are just molded on, so these don't roll at all. But all in all, he's a pretty cool looking little vehicle to accompany Optimus Prime here. And while I don't usually like weapons on top of the vehicles, because Roller did have the ability to carry Optimus Prime's weapon back in the day, I actually don't mind having this Roller carry around Optimus Prime's rifle. So I think that looks pretty cool right there. So getting into the transformation, we'll look at we'll set Roller aside and look at Optimus real quick. And pretty much what you're going to expect out of a basic Optimus Prime figure. We're going to start here on the sides and just unpeg the arms and get them kind of up and out of the way. And they're very much so like you would expect an Optimus Prime arm to be. Now, these guys were being held by, if you look in here, you see that little tab right there. The fists would actually peg into that tab there. So that actually holds the sides down in place real good. Works real good. So now the front part of the truck here, you can just pull this down. This whole piece is going to just snap down like that. And it's going to it's kind of on a double hinge, so you can just not rotate, but just pull that out forward, and that's going to release this part of the waist here. So this whole thing can actually rotate down now, just like that. Trying to get it all in the camera so you guys can see the whole thing, and separate the back of the truck to be the legs. And we're almost there, guys. Go ahead and just put the arms up to get them out of the way and rotate. Just kind of get that front part of the truck down and out of the way, and rotate the whole top of the from the chest up to the whole part of the robot. Just rotate it around. At this point, you can bring the arms all the way to the side, and if you look at this peg that's on the grill part of the truck, there's a little peg right there. This little slot right there on the small of Optimus's back. You can just pop that right in there. Coming around to the front. Go ahead and straighten the arms out. Now, the instructions typically tell you to, I don't know, some people do it, some people don't. The instructions say to do it. They tell you to pop those up like that. However, I did see an image of what that IDW Optimus Prime looked like, and he had these down. So, personal preference really kind of rules here. I prefer these down. I just prefer to leave them down the way they are. And then finally, what we're going to do here is we're going to grab him by the shoulders and pull the chest pieces apart. That reveals a little Autobot symbol right in there, and come back here and pull his head up and just bring that up and click it into place and straighten him out, and there we have Optimus Prime in robot mode. And I love this figure. This guy looks so cool. It's such a neat little figure, really, to have. It's just a fun, neat little Optimus Prime to have on your desk, or just something to fiddle with. I really like the way this guy looks. Here in robot mode, he's approximately 3.5 inches tall. As far as articulation goes, you can rotate the head. The head is on a swivel, so you can rotate his head all the way around. And due to the transformation, he can actually kind of look up and down a little bit. The chest, and the shoulders kind of go back because of the way the chest opens and closes, so you can kind of make the shoulders go back if you need to. The shoulders have a rotation all the way around. They are on a ball joint, so if you actually pop these panels up, you can actually get him to put his arms straight out like that. But because for me, because I typically keep those panels down, I typically kind of lose that. You've got a ball jointed elbow, so you got a rotation there, and you got a good bend. Nothing of obviously there's nothing going to be at the wrist. There typically isn't when you got a toy this size. As you saw previously, there is a rotation at the waist. It's not really at the waist. It's kind of more at the chest. That's due to transformation, but you can use it in your favor to get some cool poses. Again, ball joints at the hip, so you got a whole wide range of motion here. You've got also ball joint and knees, so these guys can also go all over the place, and nothing at the ankles. So all in all, for a Legends class figure, you got a good range of possibility. Another thing you can do here, you can actually just close the chest up and just leave it closed. If the thing of it is, and I've heard a lot of people complain about this, is that when you open the chest up, it doesn't really click into place. So it's just kind of there, and when you try to pose them, it kind of flops around or whatever. So I know a lot of people prefer to just close it and leave it closed and forego having that Autobot symbol there. So again, that's just kind of up to you. Whatever your preference is, just go with that. We'll go ahead and get his rifle and give it to him here and show off Optimus with his rifle. And again, it's not a perfect figure, but I think it is a great figure. It's a lot of fun, just a fun little Optimus Prime to have on your desk or wherever, and you can just fiddle with him when you have a few minutes. Taking a look at Roller real quick. Roller is a bit of a mini-con this time around because he actually transforms into a small robot. And to do that, this is probably one of the most difficult transformations I am ever going to show on camera. Ready? There we go. Roller is now a robot. Yeah, you pretty much stand him up, and the entire robot mode is right down there on the bottom of the vehicle mode. You can pop his arms up. He's got a little bit of, I guess you could call this articulation. His arms do go up and down a little bit. But as far as the robot mode for Roller, that is pretty much it. I do like the detail on him. He's got, let me see if I can get a focus on him. He does have a pretty cool looking head. I really do like that. I actually do like the design of this robot. It's just kind of lacking in the paint details. It really does need a little more paint details there. But this isn't the only thing Roller does. Roller is actually a triple changer and a target master. This guy actually transforms into a weapon for Optimus Prime as well. So to do that, you just fold this peg, and see this, you probably notice that peg sitting at the top there. You can rotate this thing down, grab him back here from the top and the bottom, and just pull him apart, and he's going to fold out and turn into a weapon or something. It's a weapon of sorts for Optimus Prime. Now, if you look at it from the front, you've got the double barrel there, and you can tell that's a weapon, and it kind of looks okay that way. But when you turn it to the side, you've got hollow gaps, and it kind of loses itself. I kind of wish you could rotate these down and around to help cover all of this up, but there's these pegs right here that prevent it from doing so. So another thing you could do is you could bring the arms up like this and just kind of put them over the hood. And I find that helps a little bit with the look of the weapon. When you're looking at it this way or this way, it does help it look a little more like a weapon because you've got the barrels by themselves. So, it's not the best weapon you've ever seen, but we'll go ahead and give it to Optimus just to show him off on camera. Come on, man, take your weapon. Take your little target master. So there you go. There's Optimus holding his target master Roller. This guy is heavy. He's gonna make him front heavy. He's not gonna want to play now. There it goes. So he's got Roller now. He's got his own rifle. So yeah, this is, again, guys, this is a pretty fun little figure. I really enjoy having him. And yeah, so if you can find one, pick one up. He's a lot of fun. I certainly enjoy playing with it. So I think that about covers Generations Legends Optimus Prime with Roller. Please leave me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.